Hey guys, today we're going to be checking out the Medicom Toy Mafex number 93 Pennywise from the It movie. And I gotta tell you, this is actually the deal of the day because I was notified through the Facebook groups that I'm in from Mafex that Amazon was doing a sale on the Mafex Pennywise. And at first I thought it was a joke, I thought it wasn't true. But as soon as I clicked on the link and looked onto Amazon itself, this thing showed up for $36. And the original pricing on this is actually $100, and it's $100 toy for 36 for, and you can get it for free shipping with Amazon. I highly recommend it. And I think I checked online again and it went back down to 26. So basically, hopefully if you guys check this video out and you guys get to pick it up, hopefully you can. But let's take a look at the box because this is an actually really cool figure. And as you can see, the window box packaging, you can see the design of Pennywise right here with his name and number 93. And you can see everything that comes in the box. It looks really nice. It looks like there's a lot of plastic involved, so you can't really see it too well. If you look on the side, we have a really nice illustration of Pennywise, of the figure, and look through the shadows that and photography, it makes it look like his eyes are glowing, but it just looks really nice. Simple figure, simple design, really looks good on the packaging. And in the back, you can see the entirety of the contents and what you can do with the figure. The figure does here show it has 3 head sculpts. It does come with some variety of accessories, and you can see some of the detailing of the figure, and even the simplest little tilt and shadow can show you how menacing this figure or character can be with simple photography. It's just really nice and well done. And if we look into the side, here we also have just a Pennywise standing by himself, what looks to be just staring at a person or staring at a child, who knows what. In the bottom we just have a bunch of the legal information in case you needed to know that. And we have also here the hologram, which tells you that it is a legit figure. And up here we have the It figure, and it looks like it's got some tabs right here. I'm not sure what that's for, but we'll figure that out. But nonetheless, let's open this guy up and see how it looks. Okay, let's open this guy up. Opening this up, and the first thing you see that I guess I must have not realized until now is it says right here, "Hiya Georgie." So it looks like this particular part looks to be like you can recreate the sewer and cut this part out, so we'll see how that looks in a moment. But let's grab this guy, pull him out, and there's nothing else in the box. Put that aside, and here we have the Mafex standard stand that comes with him, and we have the figure in its tray, and you can see a bunch of the accessories displayed here. And a lot of the plastic that's covering the figure, you can't really see details, but from here I can tell you it looks really nice. So let's get him out and look him and have a better look. And here we have Pennywise out of the packaging, and I gotta tell you, the look of him is really nice. I mean, the detail that comes in the actual suit is very soft, but you can see that they did some subtle shading all over the place that makes it look really well done. It gives it a nice little dirty look, but also shadowy look at the same time. The sculpt on its head and everything looks really well done. Let me give you a better look at it actually. As you can see right here, the head is using that digital print that they do for their faces, and it's really well done. It's came out really nice on mine. And because the eyes of itself are printed to make him look upwards a bit, it gives you that whole thing where you can tilt his head down, and it gives you a look very menacingly, like as though he's like lusting for you of some sort. If we look at the hair sculpt is done well. It's really nicely colored. It has orange to it, and it has like a little bit of a light gold to it, so it kind of makes it shiny-ish. But as you can see through the lens right now, it gives you a lot of depth in there, so it gives you a lot of detail work that you can see. The neck collar piece right here is really nicely done. It's a separate piece here, but it's 3 layers, and because of its 3 layers, a lot of detail was able to be made between each of them, which gives you a nice look to it overall. Now when we come to the bodysuit, like I said, some of it is a little soft in terms of what it looks like, but like the shading that they did does come off really nice on it. Like I said, it gives you that dirty, grimy look to it. as though it's been old and used for so many years. Here we have the little nice little, I don't even know what these are called, apologize for that, but these are right here, nicely detailed. The belt here is nicely detailed in terms of paint. When we come over to the arms, as you can see, the cuffs here are also nicely detailed with the tassels that are right on his hands right here, and they're all individually painted in some way. Once we come over here to the skirt piece is pretty big. It's pretty how it is in the film, pretty much, and it's made to have different layers right here, but the layers don't make it necessarily difficult for it to be posed whatsoever. It just looks nice and puffy, which is the way it should look. Coming down to the legs, again, we see a lot of that wash or dirty light paint job on it, with more tassels to his cuffs or the bootleg areas. Really nicely done. Look at that. And then we come over to the feet, and the feet actually are painted really nice. I'm surprised because sometimes when you come over to the feet area, you may think, oh, it's not going to be greatly painted, but this one's actually painted nice. It's not too bad. Here's a big ball of whatever the hell this is. I'm sure somebody knows what it's called, but that's what it looks like paint wise. Underneath the feet you can see that it says right there Medicom Toy 2019 and Time Warner cable or Time Warner and WB, so they do have its stamps on it. But overall, even in the back, I didn't check out the back, sorry about that. You can see the design from the back right here comes straight through, which is really good detailing and shading involved. But like I said, this is a really nice figure. Now when it comes to accessories, the figure doesn't come with much, but what it does come with are really good accessories to include with this figure. Now let's start off with the hands. It comes here with two slightly open gripping hands, and those hands are used for this particular item, which is the SS Georgie little boat, in which Georgie loses down the manhole or the rain gutters, and it fits really well on them. It works on both hands. Here we have both gripping, or not gripping, these are more of the this reaching out hands, and then we have two fisted hands. I want to mention that each of these hands does have a little bit slight of some paintbrush, airbrush paint to it, like a darkness to it, so they have some depth to it, so it's not all white. And here we have the two I like to call circle hands. If you know what I'm talking about, then you probably should punch yourself in the arm. Anyhow, these little hands are actually interchangeable with the cuffs on the figure, and it's so you can use with this particular accessory, which is the accessory of the balloon. And the way it was done is really nice, because looking at it, the actual hand is all made of a clear plastic, and it has like a little hole here that's been pretty much been cut through, and the rest of the part that's the actual hand was painted white, and the rest was left clear. So therefore, whenever you use this accessory, you're able to simply put it through the hole in which he holds it, and it does require a little force, but it can hold it. And I think it's not working right now, but I will get that to hold in a moment. And to interchange the hands on this figure, very simple. Basically right here, what you want to do you want to actually just grab the hand, pull it off by holding the cuff right here. It'll pop off, and then you can place in the other hand that you want to try and use. This one I'm going to use the nice gripping hand and pop that right in. Once that's in, I can use such things, accessories as the little Georgie boat right there, and he holds it pretty well. And if you want to use, for example, the hand that holds the balloons, what you want to do here is you want to detach the cuff from the middle right here. That pops off, and then you want to insert the hand with the balloon already attached to it, because it's really hard to put it while it's together, and hold it up, and there you have Pennywise holding onto the balloon and showing you basically how it works out. And I think it looks pretty darn good. I mean, the way they designed it, it just works well, and he does just look scary just looking at him. Now the other accessories that he does come with are two optional heads that you can use with this figure. Now here we have the original one that came in the packaging, which is more of the stern, like really angry kind of look. And if we pop this one off, it's easy to pop off. Whoop, there goes that. Then we have here the more smiling look that pops in for sort of when he's trying to like seduce a child or seduce some other characters. And it also has something similar to the eyes where it can, if you put it down slightly, you can still see its eyes looking at you, which is pretty creepy. But it also allows the shadowiness to cast over his forehead to give you a lot more of those details to be seen. So it looks really good on there. And the other optional head is the one where he has his face or his mouth pretty much opened up, ready to consume whatever it is that's near him, a child, or if not, Georgie's hand. And you can see the detail right here in the mouth is really nicely done. The teeth are all over the place, which is crazy. And due to the fact that they're using this new print technology, also the eyes can be seen to be sort of going to the side, so it gives you that creepy look. I'm not sure if the camera's capturing it, but the overall look of it is just great. You know, I wish they did have a little bit blood on this face head sculpt or something, so that gives it much more menacing, but I'm not sure if they were able to do that. But that's a pretty good head sculpt. Now, Mafex is known to have QC issues, and this figure is no exceptions, and you will see what I'm saying when I go into the articulation. Now, the head is on a ball peg, and it actually can move a bit around. It can swivel to the side and up and down a little bit. The neck collar pretty much restricts it from doing it, but you can still get some movement out of it. Now, it's when we get to the armpit joint, this is where I have my issues with it. Now, the armpit joint is designed in a way where it can pop forward slightly a bit, as you can see right here. It pops forward, and it comes back and forth, which is fine. The problem with this one is when I try to pop it forward, it pops out completely, and that's not right. But fortunately for me, it's just something that pops out, and it can be easily remedied by pushing it back in. But unfortunately, when I do move the arm around, sometimes it tends to want to pop out. But that's just one of the issues. Now, using this hand for an example, you can actually move the hand only slightly up, not too much, as it could only go this way. And due to the armpit joint, it can only go forward like this. The problem too is that if you look back here, it tends to have this giant gap in the back, which is not cool. So you can only use it so far in order to not break up the sculpt and the look of it. But if you want to do it through the front and do something, it can actually move forward, so you can still do some kind of movement. Now, when we get to the arm area right here, because of the way the armpit joint is made, it doesn't allow it to have a bicep swivel. There goes that one too. It doesn't allow it to have a bicep swivel. So you don't have that there. Instead, you just continue on and have the elbow joint, which is a double elbow joint, and it allows you to go up really far up, which is fine. So you can actually have like certain poses of him looking or waving goodbye, perhaps. But that actually works out really good, and the sculpt doesn't break it up at all. When we come to the hand, it does have like a ball peg, so it can pretty much move around and swivel it wherever you want, which is fine. Now, the second point that I have here is the torso area. Now, because of the way it's designed, it allows you to swivel around, but when you try to move it forward, the more you push it, it ends up popping right out of its socket, which kind of sucks. But it doesn't mean it breaks or anything. If anything, I'm glad that they designed it so it can come apart if it needs to and not break completely. But you can see that it can go back on. And like I said, it doesn't have much movement, but it does swivel a little bit. When we come to the leg parts, this is really cool because the way it's done, in order to, allow much better articulation, the skirt pieces here was made very soft, and it's made like sort of like a lot extra underneath, so that now when you try to put it forward, it can go forward pretty far, and it doesn't break up anything. The skirts continues to stay the same, so it looks really good. And when you go back, it's the same thing, so it's really nice. It does have like a drop down part, so it can go up and down. If you want to make them look taller, you can, and you won't be able to see the joints, but it looks pretty good there. It does have a single jointed knee, which is really tight, which is nice. It goes up that way, that far, far enough for him to look like he's running, which is good. I forgot, he does have a upper thigh swivel, forgot to mention that. And when you come down to the boot, his shoe area, you can rotate the boot maybe slightly a little bit, or maybe not. I'm not sure. I think the other one does it more. Yeah, the other one does it, but I think this one doesn't. I think it's a little bit more tight. And then of course there's a ball peg or double ball peg on the bottom of the feet, so therefore you can actually move it around and get pretty good ankle pivot out of it. It goes down pretty far that way, it goes up too far like that, and even though it has a little fuzzy thing right here, you still get a toe joint which can go up pretty far, which is actually done really well. So kudos for them to creating a good ankle joint, or I'm sorry, a toe joint with this little piece right there. But like I said, it suffers a little bit of these problems with its articulation, but if you pose him just right, the certain way you want, he will look pretty good. Now let's look at his height comparison and his size compared to other figures. But first let's check his height. His height here shows that it's close to be under 6.5 inches off to the top of his head. And it's not too bad. I mean, I think it's a pretty good size for him. And if we put him next to another famous clown that we know of, we have the Mafex Dark Knight Joker. Then we have here the Justice League Batman. These with a custom head and a not custom head, a different head and a custom cape. Not too bad. Now if we look over here, we have the G.I. Joe Classified Series Cobra Commander, and then we have here the Classified Series Snake Eyes, and I just want to put this guy in there too, little Timberwolf that I found at Hobby Lobby. Pretty good size. And some other things on the side just for the heck of it. Here we have the 1000 Toys Dark Horse Comics Ape Sapien. And then we have here the Marvel Legends Hugh Jackman figure. And as you can see, the figure does scale well with other 6-inch figures. Alright guys, that's my look at the Medicom Mafex Pennywise action figure, and I gotta tell you, I think overall, even though with the QC issues that it has with this armpit joints and maybe the waist, I think overall it's a great figure. I mean, if you're able to find it on Amazon still for that price that I mentioned of $26 or so, it may go up, it may go down a bit, but I think, and you can get it with free shipping because of that, I think it's just great to have in your collection. The way it looks, the way it stands, and like I said, it can fit with other 6-inch figures, and I mean, I'm really happy with it. I know there's a couple things I might have to fix with the arm, with this whole butterfly joint that it has, which is really odd. But I mean, it's not a figure that I'm going to be posing around as much. I'm probably just going to keep it on the shelf next to some figures and do some, minor toy photography here and there just for the heck of it. It keeps happening like this, but it's not, like I said, it's not something that I can't fix and deal with. But overall, I think this is probably the best looking figure that you can get for the money. NECA does have its own figures too, but I think this one overall looks good in terms of the pricing that it's asking for. And I mean, yeah, just look at it, man. It's a creepy looking figure. But yeah, if you like this review and you're interested in checking this figure out, check out Amazon.com and see if they still have it. But overall, if you like the video, press the like button, subscribe, and yeah, you guys have a good day.